What's happening, Taurus? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a great week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate you subscribing, your likes, your shares, keeping this guy coming back and keeping this channel growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of November 13th through the 19th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems are happy to see you. It's going to be a fun one, Taurus. Now I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corners are going to be some future options that you might be considering. The bottom left will be some perspectives you might want to think about in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then finally, the bottom right will be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you all, come on hands, in case you all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards are really cool, and I'll make sure to show you those all throughout. And in case you wanted to get your own, I included a link in the description box below, definitely for a smaller one, because this bigger one is nature my problem every week, but it's fine. Now, higher self, what do we have in store for Taurus this week? Let me get your cards pulled, and then we will get right to it. Okay. Oh, there you are. Love it. Okay, bam, bam, and bam. All right, Taurus. Let me get these cards straightened up a little bit. Kind of sit with them, and then we will get started. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm with it, Taurus. So, for the nature of your problem this week, you have the Lovers. And then the cards that came along with it are the Princess of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Now, with the Lovers being the nature of your problem this week, I feel like some of us are looking for, I really feel like we're looking for inspiration. With the Lovers, this is a card of like innovation, imagination, inspiration, if I hadn't said that. I feel like that's all the I words that I have in my vocabulary, but I'm kidding. But it really is. It's a card of, for me, normally it could be for love, obviously, but I feel like it's more of a love for what you want to do. You know, I really am getting a more kind of inspired energy. You know, maybe we've been feeling in a rut this week. You know, we're just looking for something that's just going to bring a little bit of just kind of like some joy into the mundane things that you have to deal with every day. You know, we're trying to shake things up a little bit. Because I feel like for some, you know, maybe we've just been in this place of just kind of same old, you know, there's no kind of real excitement. You know, everything's just become kind of, I don't want to say humdrum, but just sort of just like, you know, just commonplace. You know, we're just kind of going through the motions, just kind of, you know, getting up, doing the job, coming home, eating, go to bed, wash, rinse, repeat. But now we're looking for something. We want something that's going to incite, you know, that's going to inspire us, that's going to get us jumping out of bed every morning. You know, you don't got the Fool here, but I'm getting very Fool vibes with this energy here. And that's just like that carpe diem, you know, seize the day. And I do feel like part of the way that's getting in the way of this finding our inspiration is the Princess of Swords. because with the Princess of Swords, I love her, you know, in the sense of like, she's so smart, like you, Taurus, just so smart. You know, very clever, very witty, you know, she's got the know-how. The problem is that sometimes if she's getting in this rut, you know, if she's getting these places of where maybe things aren't progressing, you know, maybe we're having troubles just finding that spark, that sunshine, that's something that's just gonna like, that just gets us, you know, that builds up that anticipation. Then the Princess of Swords gets into this place of just like, well, maybe this isn't meant for me. You know, she gets some very destructive logic. You know, I'm not going to feed into that. But because look at this card, when you look at this here, you know, her tower is, her tower's on fire. Tower's on fire. You got all this chaos going around here. She is living in this moment here. And you need to wait for a second. But she's living in this moment here for sure. And I really don't feel, it's one of those things, it's not, what is that going to serve you is where I really, and now I'm talking to her more so than to you, Taurus, but even kind of in a light, judgment-free zone type of way, you know, what is this, Taurus? What is this? You know, what is it that has gotten us kind of in this sort of like destructive loop? You know, you Princess of Swords, imagine that you just get into this place of like, that like, man, this sucks. I can't do this. I can't do that. Nothing seems to line up. Everyone's out to get me. Flips table, throws cards, you know, hot mess. And I feel like that's what leads to the Eight of Cups here. Because the Eight of Cups here is, as opposed to the other Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups for me is a card of kind of just like unmet goals. You know, you get to this place of like this lack of drive. You know, you get to it's a card of indolence. And in the sense of just like, I feel like you get to a place where it's like you want to start a cup and it's just like meh. Start another cup, this is kind of fun, meh. And then you got ones like, oh, this is sort of fun. And then the second it gets hard, you're just like, oh, this isn't for me. Forget about it. Very Knight of Cups kind of energy here almost with this, with the Eight of Cups. But you know, I do feel like we've gotten to this place of where we're just, everything is just sort of nothing, there's nothing that's popping out to you. Just sort of like, whatever, Justin. This is like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I barely showed up here. I need something to just kind of shake this up. Well, you know what? Let's go play around in the future stuff. You know what? Let's go paint that picture, Taurus. Because on the right-hand side here, you got the Princess of Disc here. Good old tower. I know, right. What are you saying, Justin? Hang with me. And the art card. Because I feel like, I love this. I feel like with the Princess of Disc popping up here, this is getting you set up. I feel like this is one of those things. The Princess of Cups she's so abundant. She's pregnant with life here. She's my card of fecundity. And down here, she's found that passion. You know, she's gotten to this place of, you know, she wants to take this grove and pour everything she has in it and make this bad boy just flourish. And I feel like that's what you want to do too. And it might just be, because I don't know if I mentioned with the Lovers. I feel like with the Lovers, it could be, sometimes I like to feel this card too is like kind of like your higher self winking at you when it pops up in readings here. Because maybe we've, in the efforts of trying to find something that we love, maybe we've neglected, we haven't been looking inside. You know, we've been seeing maybe what other people are doing and we're trying to emulate that, which is cool. But if you're just trying to emulate without having like a foundation, if that makes sense, then I feel like that is when it doesn't match up. That's what leads to getting all these cups here of like, you know, you're starting all of these projects and we're not finishing things because they're not you. You're trying to force them on you, as opposed to trusting your intuition, you know, doing a deep dive. Because I feel like this is like really kind of getting back in touch with your intuition. And I feel like, you know, finding that thing that you love, that you truly love, you know, because yeah, I do feel like the Lovers could be, you know, love coming in, but I do feel like it's just your passion is coming in, you know, your drive is coming in. And I feel like that's where this Tower moment's coming in, because we might be in this Tower moment right now where things have been kind of piling up, and now we're getting, I don't feel like this is like a really kind of heavy Tower, if that makes sense. I just feel like this Tower is more so just calling upon you to see that clarity, to be this Eye of Shiva here. Yeah, I'm feeling it's less destructive and more so take the Eye of Shiva and let's look at these cups here. Not that we're ignoring the chaos, but I feel like this is more so the energy that you're bringing here. This is what we're analyzing. What is it? Why did we start these things? What is it? Is there some kind of commonality in here? Let's see this for what it is here. We've gotten a little out of touch with ourselves. We're not doing what we love. I feel like we're just copying, or we're just, maybe it could even be too, maybe we've been, you've been following other people's recommendations. They're like, you would be a natural at this, you're being a natural at that. And it's one thing if, people are telling you this thing, whereas you come to this realization like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is how I see myself doing these things. And sometimes, and now that you've done that, maybe this gets to that Tower moment where it's just like, it's more so like everyone else is having a Tower moment in the sense of like, what is Taurus doing? I didn't expect them to do that. That's not like you. You know what? They're the people falling off this building, which we don't, hang with me. Because I feel like, once you get that realization, because it might not even be that fact, but I feel like once you get that clarity, you're going to start oh, and how awesome, Taurus, because look at that. We go from the alchemical marriage here, now we're at the honeymoon phase, because that's what the art card is about. This is a card of manifestation, because now we've gotten through that Tower, we found what we've held near and dear to us, and now we can start manifesting. I love that, because you've taken that time like we did. We analyzed this stuff, because when these cards, remember, this is the energy brought me, so now you've seen it, I've seen it, and we've had to talk about it. But now that we've talked about it, look at what's happened. Now we can start creating some stuff again. We can start manifesting and really doing some good work and doing those things that are going to get you where we can start maybe replacing some of these cups even, and then start filling this cups back up again. Let's jump over to this right-hand side here, because I love, this is, Taurus, this is all you all day. And I'm not kidding. The Hierophant, Prince of Disc, this is one of your cards, and the Five of Disc, one of your cards. This is Mercury in Taurus. This is all you all day. And I feel like that's heavy emphasis on this. This really is kind of bringing that home as far as, what do you hold near and dear to yourself? Finding that wisdom, because that's what the Hierophant is about. And, it could be something like this realization, this clarity, it's not going to happen overnight. It very well could, for some it definitely might. But I feel like overall, you're just remembering, and I don't need to tell you this, you wrote the book on it. Just being patient, being persevering through all this stuff, realizing that, yeah, this isn't great. Luckily, we're not moving quite like the Hierophant, because the Hierophant only moves every 2,000 years. This man is not in a rush. So we're moving a little bit faster than that. But just, we're taking our time, we're getting there. And in the meantime, let's do some Prince of Disc, because Prince of Disc is awesome. The Prince of Disc is my card of, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So while we're in all of this, maybe let's start writing some stuff down. What is it that excites you? It could just be just as simple as that. Just jotting down some ideas, maybe even bouncing some ideas off of people, but really doing that soul search and really figuring out who Taurus is as a whole. I know how great you are, but let's add some depth onto that now. Let's really start to get some individuality here. Let's really start doing what you want to do. Because really, Taurus, come on, this is awesome. Now this might not look so awesome, but hang with me. Because the Five of Disc is a card of worry. It's a card of really specifically of monetary anxiety, of poverty. So maybe you know, we haven't been inspired too, just because we're worried about, like, is this going to be able to take care of me long term? Maybe you're trying to make this these cups that you're trying to turn into, maybe you're trying to turn them into some kind of project. You know, we're trying to manifest them into a way that they can support us, or at least maybe even something that this could, you know, could also be something too that it might take up a little more time. You have to do a little more juggling, you know, trying to fit that into your schedule. But I feel like this is one of those things here. It's not, let's just get back to your energy, you know, like to this kind of energy. Because I feel like this worry, this anxiety, it doesn't necessarily have to be there. It doesn't need to paint this picture per se. Because that's future stuff, you know, just like how we worked with the stuff here. And the thing with the future is it can be whatever we want to paint it. It's what we're painting it in the present. Hopefully that came out right. But, you know, what I'm getting at is, instead of painting your picture, you know, with this Five of Discs, with this Eight of Cups, you know, now we can get some momentum again. Because I feel like that's all you need. Once you're able to take that first step, it's going to all fall into place. It's, you know what? Let's move on to some perspectives here. Now we're getting messy, Taurus. Now we're doing some, we're getting this. Because I really feel like this is one of those things, if you start taking these, really just that first step to getting to where, you know, finding what you love. Because this is a good time coming to, you know, just this whole month, you know, Jupiter's getting ready to go direct in about a week. Just a lot of big stuff. I mean, just the full moon thing that just happened. And this could be one of your, you know, could be some lingering curveballs coming at you. But I do feel that, Taurus said, once you really find that thing that you love, you're going to get out of that rut. You're going to get to this Ace of Cups here. We're going to get out of this Three of Swords here, and then we're going to find that Sun. And you know what? Let's talk about, before we talk about this Ace, before we talk about all the good stuff, let's talk about this Three of Swords here. Because the Three of Swords is a card of sorrow. You know, it's a card of melancholy, very somber sort of energy here. So and that's to be understood. Because I feel like with this, just with this, because overall, I really do like this. You know, let's put this Tower in here too. But I feel like when you got some energies like this here, this little combo here, you know, it can get you in a place of Three of Swords, where it's just like, it's upsetting, like nothing's been sticking. You know, maybe you really poured your, you know, you want to pour your all into this, but there's just that fear, you know, that fear of like, what if, you know, what if something doesn't work out? You know, what if this gets me to a place? You know what? I feel like that's where it's really, let's get to that planning stage, because you're aware of this stuff now. That's the thing. We've seen it now. Now we can start addressing this stuff. You know, let's take that stuff. Let's start planning. You know, I feel like and you know what? You can stay. I'm not saying that we never force this. Deal with this at your own pace. But I do feel like once we get started, then we get to this Ace of Cups here, where our world is feeling just like where we can start building abundance. And you know what? Don't let it feel like it has to happen overnight. You know, this is something too. It's just like taking those steps and then keeping that momentum, persevering through this. You know, that's going to be the name of the game here. And like I had said, I feel like you wrote the book on this, as far as like, you know, being patient and persevering and getting to what you need to get to. But I get where this is a lot of stuff to have to drag on your back. You know, it could definitely feel like it's taken 2,000 years to get done, but really, it's going to be totally worth it. It'll be absolutely worth it, because I feel like the Sun. Do you not feel like the Sun is worth it? Because the Sun is a card. Let me get a little bit close. You see how it's inching closer to you? The Sun is being really aggressive right now, but it just wants you to see it, and really see it. You know, I want it. When you're thinking about, where'd you go? Oh, where were we thinking? We were thinking about something, Taurus. And when you're thinking about that big picture, you know, when you're thinking about, when we get that clarity, when we're getting that clarity from this Tower moment here, what better thing to keep track of? Let this be your finish line here. Paint that Sun. You know, let that be. It looks like it's all the way over here right now, but it's, as you saw, it's inching for you. As you're taking a step, it's getting a little bit closer, it's getting a little bit closer, it's getting a little bit closer, and then before you know it, you're drowning in sunshine. And you know what? Let's get over here. What your higher self would like you to know. Because over on the higher self side here, you got the Nine of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Ten of Discs. All this abundance, Taurus. Nine of Wands. I feel like this is a card of, normally this is one of my recovery cards. And I do feel like you're going to need to, definitely going to need your strength while you're going through all of this. But I also feel like too, I'm getting emphasis on because another thing that this card can mean is change bringing stability. So I feel like you know how we were kind of lost in this thing, you know, sort of like meh, you know, sort of doing things kind of half-assed, you know, not quite putting it in like we should. I feel like this is kind of, how do I want to put this Nine of Wands? I really feel like this is you kind of getting your strength to power through this. This is more so what I'm kind of feeling with this. You know, because this is a lot, and I feel like you're gonna need that balance of, you know, applying that strength and then recovering. You know, applying a little bit more and recovering. And I feel like too, with the Four of Cups popping up here, this is my card of gratitude, and I feel like gratitude in the sense of like appreciate the journey along the way. You know, it's one of those things. You know, you've been for some, you've been dwelling in this for a while. We've been giving this all that time. And, you know, as you're growing through this, as you're progressing, as we're knocking stuff off the list, okay, we dealt with our Three of Swords, awesome. We dealt with our Eight of Cups, awesome. While you're doing those along, you know, while we're going on this journey, don't forget how awesome that was that you got over this. Be grateful for those lessons that you get, that these moments got from these moments, because they're there to serve you. They're not there to just like keep you in this prison, you know, to where it's just like we don't want you to grow towards. We just, you know, we want you just somber all the time. Oh no, we want you wealthy, Taurus. That's what we want. Because the Ten of Cups is a card of wealth, of success, of, you know, shaped in the tree of life. You know, we've got, you know, whereas the universe is for the major arcana, like the end game, this is one of the end game cards for the minor arcana. You know, I really like the Ten of Discs, and I really feel like, and I say wealth and whatever abundance looks like for you, but you know what? Why not make a little coin with while we're doing what we love? You know, I feel like it's a good time. Let's go ahead and shift back, Taurus. Yeah, some last thoughts on this. I do feel like, you know, if we're, because this can be a lot. There's all this energy that you're dealing with. Yeah, all this mindfulness that you have going on here. You know, if we've been in this for a while, I can see where this can be kind of tough. But know that I feel like inspiration is along the way because you're thinking about it. You know, the fact that it even came up here, that's you know what? Let that be your first step. You know, if you're not even sure, like, okay, Justin, where do I start? You've already started. You beat me to the punch, Taurus. You came here, and now we've laid it all out there. And now, because funny thing, for every bit of mindfulness that you got here, I can throw a little bit of success all over them, Taurus, because you're bringing it, and that's all we got to do. Let's just start with one. Start with one thing, and then it's only, and you even got cards to spare. See, that's the crazy thing. We dealt with all this stuff, and you still got all this good energy to spare, Taurus. So I say just keep the faith, keep that drive, keep that perseverance. Remember who you are. Where'd you go? Just remember who you are. Great Hierophant, you. And you're going to be so wise after this. You're going to be so wise. You're going to be so... And I really do feel... Because that was a weird way to read the Four of Cups. You know, be grateful for lessons. But absolutely. Absolutely. Because they're strengths waiting to be discovered. Love it. Hopefully that resonated with you. I do. I like if we're in this, I want you to understand. Yeah, I want you to feel that. I want you to know that there is. Where'd you go, son? There is a finish line. There's absolutely a finish line. So just keep the faith. But I won't beat that to death. So if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe, like, share, do all those YouTube things. And for just a broader, better picture view, you know what? Yeah, just to get a better picture of you, check your moon, check your rising. And this week we're gonna check our Saturn. And I chose Saturn just because nothing's crazy going on with Saturn right now. But when I think about all the things that you can check, it really is one of those things. They may seem random, but I feel like there's never anything wrong, especially when you have the time. And you know what, if we're in this patient state, where things aren't quite picking up yet, we're kind of in this waiting game, learn a bit about yourself. And it's going to help you grow. It's going to help you flourish and help you deal with this a little bit better, because then you'll see the tools that you have at your disposal. And you want some other tools? Because I have them here on Celestial News Weekly. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot I wasn't doing hand signs, so I was like, oh crap, what's going to be a clever way to get over into Celestial News Weekly? So we're going to get better at that. But let's get on to the news so I can get you out of here. Now, on the 16th, we have Venus entering Sagittarius, your ruler. And this is cool, too, because I feel like where we're getting out of the romantic energy when Venus is in, Scorpio, it's a little intense. We're doing some real deep dive, real kind of, you get into the nitty gritty of it. Now, Venus entering Sagittarius, love is feeling a little bit lighter. And there's this impetus to understand the truth and higher meaning for what we love. So this is a great time. Oh, and you're upside down. I feel like this is going to be a good time to really figure out what you love, because now I feel like there's going to be that heaviness that you've been feeling. I feel like that's going to start lifting a little bit. Then you'll be able to really kind of tap into like, what do you really love, and then take that Sagittarius energy and just go out and get it. That was me shooting an arrow if you couldn't tell. Next. On the 16th as well, we have the last quarter moon, and this is kind of like harvesting time. This is like preparing the next seeds to be planted for the new moon that's gonna that'll follow this last quarter moon. So again, take that Venus and Sagittarius energy, and then channel that, get your seeds, find out what's working, trim what's not working, and then push that into Princess of Disc. Oh, look at that. She's so excited. Princess of Disc. Plant all that energy into this stuff and watch it grow, Taurus. It's going to be incredible. Now, it's a big old party in Sagittarius because Mercury's following right behind. Mercury's going to be entering Sagittarius, and then this is going to be a good time. I feel like I personally am going to enjoy this because as you can see, I love talking. But Mercury in Sagittarius is a time of kind of like a time for like philosophizing and for like passionate debates, and to really kind of keep an open mind while we're doing it. This is really kind of like appreciating like different point of views, maybe in the effort of looking for what inspires us and whatnot. Maybe kind of talking to your close circle, kind of bouncing some ideas off of one another, get some different perspectives, and this could also be too, maybe this is something that you're looking for would require you to doing some higher learning. And I don't say that in the means that this is going to deter you, because sometimes it may not, if you don't have access to going into, let's say, like a school or per se or something like that, check out some YouTube videos. You got a bunch of free content. There's this what is this called? Academia.com or there's an app for it. I get like a bunch of little reading stuff, little things to read in the meantime, just like random things like that. There's so much knowledge out there that you can access to do whatever you want. So definitely keep this energy in mind when you go in this. I feel like sometimes I feel like that freedom could be a little overwhelming when it's just like the opportunities are endless. But at the same time, it's just like, just narrow it down. Like what let's put 3 things. What do you seem interested in? Let's tackle 1, meh, 2, oh, okay, 3, yes. And then keep 2 on the back burner in case something weird happens with 3 and you're just like, oh, I didn't anticipate that. That's not gonna work. We can go back to 2. Oh, do you, yep. It's like, that's it. I'm just going to hold them up. Talk to them. If you plan to, or fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yes. So just keep that in mind. That was awkward. We got to work on that. Next, let's get into some aspects. So you got, the sun is going to be trine with Neptune. And this is kind of a nice, ooh, Taurus. I feel like the cosmos are lining up for you each week. We had this new moon last week, and now this week with this is like the sun. Now I'm excited. The sun, I've always been excited. The sun, come on, sun, is shining like a light on your imagination and your spirituality. Everything the Lovers is about. Everything I've been talking about, the sun, I love it. This is just, okay. This is just a good time to just like really channel that imaginative energy. I feel like you're really going to have more access to it. And then also too, it's not a time, it's also, if we have to be mindful of something, let's make sure we're not like over idealizing things. Keep it within like because, Neptune sometimes can be, it can be about fantasies and stuff, but it's like really let's try to bring some of this stuff to Earth and really kind of manifest that. And what can we realistically manifest? And this is also another good time too, where we can kind of help others. Kind of be, there's like this need. I feel like, or this like, if you've been feeling this desire, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything for like charity per se. It could be, just making content, something to help others, and what other way you feel, if you're feeling that need, this is a good time to go out and just kind of give a little bit, show some extra compassion. And some good crystals to work with that. I have the sunstone here. And then another good one to work with is celestite. So that's a friend to add to my list. Next, you have Mercury is conjunct with Venus. And with this happening, your approach to life is going to be a little more debonair. You're going to have, the conversations are going to be centered around like art and romance and finances. Like, your ruler is having a lot of influence. It's going to be very kind of sensual energy going on right now. I'm all for it. And this could also be a good time, an ideal time too, for some like collaborations, for some negotiations, just due to where like the atmosphere is. Everyone's a little more just kind of receptive and just kind of more warm and inviting. So this could also be a good time too, to just kind of help you, any way to help you get that spark back, and not that it ever went away, just to reignite that spark again, Taurus. And then some good crystals to work with that are good old quartz, and again, I got to make some. Oh, got to get an opal, but some opal as well. An opal will help you along with this energy. Lastly, and I didn't include crystals for that one. Not a problem. Nature, my problem. Mars is going to be squared with Jupiter, and with that happening, you're gonna feel like this overabundance of energy, and there's gonna be like these. You're gonna feel like you can move mountains, but it's just like, be careful. It's very Knight of Wands energy. I say harness that. Once you've got that thing, you figured out that spark, that drive, absolutely go for it. But also I say just be mindful, because it'll be, if you spend that energy and use it unwisely, then you got to take some time and recover and then do all that again. And then that's going to set us back a little bit. So ultimately, that's all that's about. Let's just make sure that we're being mindful in what we're doing. Everything's going to be Gucci. I love this. Hopefully that all made sense to you. Like I said, it's a little early, so I have a lot of nature of my problems this week. But for sticking around with me and doing all this stuff, let's get your surprise card so I can get you out of here, Taurus. Nice. 7 of Wands. I love it. because with this one, I really feel like this is going to be emphasis on appreciating the small victories. Because this just Seven of Wands in general is just like the courage to rise up and meet situations. You know, this is Mars and Leo. And I do feel like, yeah, this is I'm getting more emphasis though, because I do feel like, you know, we have a journey ahead of us for sure. You know, we have some things that we need to deal with along the way, but to not look at them as like, oh man, this is me looking at all my problems in the distance. Well, our problem, you're sharing the stuff with me. It's just like, oh man, what am I gonna do? I gotta tackle this, I gotta tackle that, I gotta tackle that. Nope, we're not looking at it like that. We got, okay, tackle that, win. Okay, I'm not feeling I'm not 100%, but now I'm like 80% as opposed to 75. Win. You know, I've taken whatever that looks like, Taurus, whatever your small victories are. Appreciate them. Appreciate them for what they are, because they're just that. They're growth. That is growth happening. So don't take that for granted. Absolutely not, because there's going to be some really brilliant things coming from that. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Yeah, I hope you have a safe week out there. Let's keep raising that vibration, and I will catch you on the next one later.